Oh dear, you found yourself face to face with a Fey, or even worse, unexpectedly trapped in the Feywild. Or you're a master of dungeons, considering putting your companions in such a situation. An inspired idea, but with one problem: you're not sure how to portray the inhabitants of this illustrious plane. It's easy for mortals to fear the lands of fairy. So few of you understand it, but fear no longer. I will explain everything you need to potentially survive, if survival is in the cards for you at all. First, I would say there are 3 core tenets of Fey life that you must understand. One being life abundance. All things have life, and I do mean all. Trees, fish, boulders, flowers, brooks, and streams, each with a soul, each of equal value to any walking creature or floating fairy. If you're from the material plane, you may not think twice of chopping down a tree for firewood, or rolling a large stone off a path so your cart can pass by. But when you chopped down that tree, you cut down a life. You may as well have passed by a traveler on the road and chopped him in half with your axe, but unlike in your realm, this murder is no secret simply because another human didn't witness it. Every tree, every flower, every bird just watched you commit this act, and whispers of it will spread much farther than the clearing in which your evil deed occurred. And believe me, these rumors can be difficult, if not impossible, to dispel. But what of the large stone you rolled off the path? You didn't murder it. But did you ever consider that the stone liked where it was? It might have enjoyed its excellent view of interesting travelers. It might not have. Maybe it fell there by accident and had grown bored of feet walking past it all day. Regardless, to move it without asking first is to have wronged it. A social faux pas nearly as awful as your arboreal murder. But I need to eat. I'm too cold. I didn't have time to pack for the Feywild before I tripped and fell into that mushroom circle. Well, let me first say, it's not our fault that you missed the perfectly dug divot in the earth that revealed your clumsy nature. But not all is lost. There are plenty of trees and bushes about which will happily grant you their fruit or berries, or point you toward their fallen branches that you can burn for warmth. But please remember, when you take from these immobile souls, leave something in return. Perhaps you'll get lucky, and plucking from a tree is a gift to it as well. Those fruits can get heavy. But don't count on the mutual benefit of your actions. In the case that you can't directly ask something, which can't verbally speak what it would like as a return favor, at least try to grant it something. A lovely ribbon, a button that fell off a pretty sweater, anything that shows you actually appreciate that which has been given to you. This is the second tenet: fairness. We are called the fair folk for our beauty, of course, but also for our love of fairness. Give what you take. It's really that simple. Fail to return fairly when something has been given, and you will find yourself indebted to that which gave to you. It is often much more pleasant to give up a nice trinket or small favor than to allow an unpaid debt to linger, the moment and means of repayment unknown to you, until it often festers into something much more inconvenient. On the other hand, being the one who holds the debt can be quite the treat, or at least quite the convenience. By all means, I encourage you to take advantage should you find yourself in this situation. I mean, it's only fair, after all. You will often hear the Feywild described as a domain of delight. Some of that which delights mortals also delights the Fey, but of course some does not. Allow me to clear up the confusion on which is which. Anything mortals like to do while at a party, the Fey like to do at all times. They love to drink, eat, dance, sing, play fun pranks. The Fey delight in anything that brings pleasure, and typically anything that brings pleasure without harming anything else. The Unseelie may have somewhat twisted ideas of what that means, but typically you won't find yourself in the midst of a prank that, say, ends up breaking your leg. at least not on purpose. These are fairly universal interests, but just as mortals delight in different customs and activities, so do the Fae. You will often hear of some Fey courts practicing Baroque rules, customs, and dress. This is, of course, all very structured and wouldn't seem at all interesting to the more impulsive, uninhibited Fey folk. But that's exactly why the Fae who do practice it enjoy that culture. It's so foreign to the Fey mind as to be fascinating. They enjoy putting on those behaviors and structures because they are unique and interesting, and for those reasons, fun. Personal pleasure, intrigue, beauty, uniqueness, they all fall under the same umbrella. It's why, instead of coin, you'll most often pay for something in the Feywild with trinkets. Unique baubles that can't be found anywhere else. Copper, gold, silver, they're all boring and ripped from the earth with such brutality. Few Fae will find any interest in the stuff. And to be clear, not every Fae will be personally interested in any given unique trinket or some such thing, and some trinkets will be more valuable to some Fae than others. It will take some intention and potentially some bargaining for any fair trade to occur. I realize I have not fully touched on the inanimate object side of things. Did you think only things of nature, like trees and rivers, had souls? Don't be so foolish. When I say all things have life, I mean all things. Perhaps you've held a sentient sword, one which spoke to you, warned you of danger, told you what blood it longs to drink. Just because other swords may not speak in such a manner does not mean they don't also have thoughts and desires. When it comes to created objects such as this, their personalities are typically formed by their creators, though should they travel in the hand of some particular knight for long enough, their minds can be attuned more to that being's personality instead. As a general rule, the softer the item, the more pliable its nature. A blanket may love the one it warms, but if it falls out of a cart and finds its way to another, it will quickly love that soul just the same. It does not cease to love the original, but a blanket by nature is soft-hearted and prone to love any living thing over which it drapes. But something like a frying pan is not so pliable in every way. A man is killed, his frying pan stolen from the fire on which it cooked, but the pan liked the original man. I can guarantee you that every meal the murderer tries to make with that pan from that moment forward will be burnt, or somehow not cooked at all. Finally, there's one particular cultural divide I should warn you of if you wish to utilize these virtues effectively. The Seelie versus the Unseelie. As you should know by now, to be Seelie is to support Queen Titania of the Summer Court, while to be Unseelie is to support her sister, the Queen of Air and Darkness of the Winter or Gloaming Court. But there are more than political implications between the two. Seelie Fae are typically considered good, more careful to avoid harm, perhaps kinder in their trades and deals, though not untricky by any means. You will obviously be better off in dealing with a Seelie, although it can be difficult to tell which is which. The Unseelie are less inclined towards harmless fun, and in general they are less gentle when it comes to living things. They're more fascinated by the darker parts of nature, more inclined towards corruption. Go somewhere like the Fall Court, where you will find more Unseelie than not, and you will also find more moss, spores, mold, decay than in any other courts with sunnier dispositions. These things are life too. They may simply have less consideration for the well-being of the tree they grow upon, for instance. It's a delicate difference, and one that calls for caution when dealing with any Fae of unknown court affiliation. But don't worry, I can assure you that I, myself, am Seelie. You can trust me 100%. So you see, it's really not so much dangerous to be in the Feywild as it is complicated. If you're not familiar with the customs of this plane, it's easy to insult, become entangled, even kill, without realizing any of those things are happening to you. But remember what I've told you today, and you should be just fine. That being said, the information I've granted you today is, in many ways, life-saving. Yes, I've essentially just saved all of your lives, and so your lives are that which is owed to me. Now, don't fret. I am not the type to collect my debts unfairly, but I will come to collect. But really, don't worry, I promise, when I do call upon you, that we will have fun.